In a quiet town, there was a boy named Colby who decided to hack into his teacher's computer. At first, it was nothing more than a harmless prank, something he thought would be funny. But little did he know, his curiosity would lead to an unexpected and life-changing consequence for both him and his teacher. Colby had always joked around with his teacher, Mr. Henry. They would laugh, joke, and chat casually after class. But today, Colby had a different idea. The school bell rang, signaling the end of class. As the students filed out, Colby hung back, looking for the perfect moment. He had a plan, a simple prank. He was going to change the desktop wallpaper on Mr. Henry's computer. Nothing too crazy, just a harmless picture. He sneaked up behind the teacher's desk, glancing around to make sure no one was looking. When he reached the computer, he saw it was locked, as expected. But Colby wasn't about to let a little obstacle stop him. He searched through the drawers of Mr. Henry's desk, hoping to find a clue, and there it was, a small piece of paper hidden under the keyboard with a password written on it. His heart raced with excitement as he typed in the password. The screen unlocked, revealing a blank desktop. Colby expected to find something boring, maybe files related to classwork or teaching materials. But no, there was only one folder on the right corner of the screen. His curiosity couldn't resist. He clicked on the folder. Inside, there were over 100 pictures of Mr. Henry. But what really struck Colby was that in each picture, Mr. Henry was with a group of children, dozens of them, all of them younger than Colby himself. The images were odd. There was nothing inherently suspicious about them, just a teacher posing with his students. But something felt off. Colby didn't fully understand what he was looking at, but his mind kept returning to the images. After finishing his prank and leaving the room, he went home and casually told his parents about what he found. He mentioned the pictures, but he didn't think much of them. However, when he told them about the photos of the children, his parents immediately became alarmed. They weren't laughing. They weren't amused. Colby didn't understand why they were so worried. It was just a teacher's computer, right? What harm could it have caused? But as the next day went on, the situation took a serious turn. Colby's parents, worried and confused, called the school principal. They went straight to Mr. Henry's computer, and when they saw the photos for themselves, they immediately called the police. Peter and Mary, Colby's parents, could never have imagined that the small act of a curious boy would spiral into a situation they couldn't control. As they walked into the school, they were met with a chilling sight. Mr. Henry, the man they had trusted to guide their son, was being escorted out by 2 uniformed officers. Colby watched, heartbroken, as his favorite teacher was taken away in front of the entire school. He didn't understand it. How could this happen to Mr. Henry? Mr. Henry was arrested on the spot, accused of something Colby didn't fully comprehend. But he couldn't shake the feeling that his actions, his simple prank, had led to all of this. As Mr. Henry was placed into the police car, he shouted one last thing, a name, Barbara. The word echoed in the air, but no one paid attention to it. Everyone was too caught up in the drama unfolding before them, but Colby couldn't shake it from his mind. Who was Barbara? Why had Mr. Henry mentioned her at the moment of his arrest? The next day, news of Mr. Henry's arrest spread like wildfire. The entire school district was in an uproar. Parents were furious, demanding answers. How could a teacher with such a reputation be involved in something so sinister? There were protests, accusations, and deep distrust. The once respected teacher was now a criminal in the eyes of many. Colby, however, couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. He still believed in Mr. Henry's innocence. He had been a good teacher, a mentor, and someone Colby had trusted. But what was the truth? Was there more to the story than they knew? Determined to get to the bottom of it, Colby decided to take matters into his own hands. After school, while everyone else was focused on the protests, Colby stayed behind in the classroom, once again sneaking up to Mr. Henry's desk. The police had already taken the computer, but Colby wasn't about to give up. He searched the drawers, hoping for a clue. That's when he found an address book. One name stood out, Barbara. The name was familiar. Colby remembered hearing it in the commotion the day before. His mind raced. Was this the same Barbara Mr. Henry had shouted about? Colby quickly grabbed the address book and searched for the number next to the name. He dialed it, his hands trembling with anticipation. A woman picked up on the other end. Hello? Is this Barbara? Colby asked, his voice filled with uncertainty. Yes, she replied, her voice sounding a bit confused. Colby explained the situation, his voice rushing with urgency. He told her about Mr. Henry's arrest, the photos, and how he believed his teacher was innocent. Barbara's response was one Colby didn't expect. She was in shock. This can't be, she said, her voice quivering. I know Henry, he's not like that. He's innocent. Colby's heart raced. He finally found someone who believed in Mr. Henry. Barbara promised to help and said she would come to the school to clear things up. Colby felt a sense of relief, but his work wasn't done yet. As he waited for Barbara to arrive, he realized this was just the beginning. The truth was out there, but would they be able to uncover it before it was too late? Colby and Barbara arrived at the principal's office, where they explained the truth about Mr. Henry's actions. Barbara revealed that Henry had been a sperm donor for several couples struggling with infertility, and the photos on his computer were simply pictures of him with the children he had helped bring into the world. He never meant to hide them. They were personal memories. "I need to clear his name," Barbara said, her voice unwavering. "Henry is not guilty." The principal was initially skeptical, but after Barbara showed him the photos and official contracts, he began to reconsider. "I'll have to verify this with the police," he said, still unsure, but there was no denying the evidence in front of him. Barbara wasn't ready to wait, though. She knew time was critical. "Let's go to the police station," she insisted. At the police station, Barbara and Colby confronted the officers with the evidence that would clear Henry's name. The officer in charge was skeptical at first, but began to understand as he reviewed the documents. After hours of investigation, it became clear that Henry had done nothing wrong. The charges against him were dropped, and he was released from custody. But even with the truth revealed, the damage to Henry's reputation had already been done. He had been accused of a crime he didn't commit, and while he was free, the public still viewed him with suspicion. Despite this, Henry was grateful to Colby and Barbara for their unwavering support. But the damage had been done, and Henry's life would never be the same. Colby, though, didn't mind. He knew he had done the right thing, and though Henry's reputation was tarnished, the truth had come to light. For Colby, that was enough.